Are you a new carrier looking for a factoring company or an existing carrier looking to shift a factoring company? Are you getting hundreds of phone calls from these factoring companies and you don't know exactly what to ask them, how to select the right factoring company? Well, you have come to the right place. In this video, we're going to look at 9 factors that you should have in mind before selecting a factoring company and to avoid something what I call as the factoring trap. Right? When the video is a little lengthy, but please bear with me. The 9th point is the most important one. So shall we start? And also don't forget, at the end, I have a free gift for you. So let's get started. I'm Jerry Jose, the founder of maxtruckers.com and a logistics expert. We at maxtruckers.com are on a mission to help the hardworking truckers of United States and Canada to grow their business and maximize profit. In my last video, we looked at the various financing options available for a trucking company. We evaluated factoring, we evaluated quick pay, we evaluated bank loans, and we came to a conclusion that factoring or invoice factoring is the best option for a trucking company to address their cash flow issues. Today, in this video, what we're going to look at is how to select the right factoring company for you. Over the years, I have interacted with hundreds of carriers, those who have good experiences with factoring and those who have had bad experiences, which I call the factoring trap. With those experiences, we have come out with 9 steps through which you can get the right factoring company for yourself. So we're going to go into each of them one by one. So watch the video till the end. The 9th point is the most important one. So let's look at the first point, the type of factoring program, whether it's a recourse or a non-recourse. So let me explain you with an example the difference between a recourse factoring and a non-recourse factoring program offered by a factoring company. Right? So normal scenario, what happens? You pick up a load, you do a load and you submit your papers to the factoring company and you get paid the same day or the next day. The factoring company waits 30 to 60 days to get paid from the freight broker. Now, what if the broker fails to pay or delays the payment or goes bankrupt? That's where a recourse factoring and a non-recourse program comes into play. So in a normal recourse, if your factoring program is a recourse program, that means in case the broker fails to pay or delays the payment beyond 60 days or 90 days, depending on the factoring company, your account will be charged back. But in a non-recourse program, if the load is a valid load, which is verified by the broker, in such cases, in case of delay of payment by the broker or a failure of payment by the broker, the risk is owned by the factoring company. The carrier is not charged back. So depending on your requirement, you need to select whether you want a recourse program or a non-recourse program. The way I look at it is very simple. If you're working as a carrier, if you're working with reputed brokers and you do not ship brokers, right? And you know that they're credit worthy and they pay on time, then you can go for a recourse program. Typically, the interest rates on the non-recourse programs are a little bit more higher than the recourse program. So if you're worried about the interest rates and you're looking for cheaper rates, then a recourse program is best suitable for you. On the contrary, if you want to secure your business from brokers failing and you're okay to pay a little bit more premium price for it, right? Then non-recourse programs are the best suitable for your trucking business. So the first thing that you need to decide is whether you need a recourse program or a non-recourse. And that's the first question that you need to ask the factoring company, or what sort of program are they offering. The second point, or the second question that you need to ask a factoring company is the paperwork process. So after you complete your load, how do you submit your paperwork? Because only on submission of your paperwork will you get paid, right? Most factoring companies have 3 ways. The first one, by sending email. That means you need to send your invoice, rate con and BOL attached to your email and send it across to them. The second option that typically you have is most factoring companies might offer you their web portal or a mobile access, a mobile app. So you need to take a picture of your rate con and the BOL and POD and just send it across and you get paid after verification. The third option, few factoring companies do ask for originals. Well, this is the most lowest of all the 3 options because you get only paid after the originals reach there and there's a lot of headache for you. So let's avoid that. So the second thing, or the second question that you need to ask a factoring company is, what is your paperwork submission process? The third point is the speed and cost of funding. After you submitted the paperwork to the factoring company, how long does it take for your funds to arrive from the factoring company? Okay, most factoring companies will have a cutoff time in their time zone. Let's say 3 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Pacific or Central. So if you submit your paperwork before 3 p.m., when do you get your money? So it could vary from few hours to 24 hours. You can get funded the same day or within the next day. So one thing you have to realize is this also depends on the type of payment method that you have opted for. So there are three methods that you can get funded. One is ACH. So if you opted for ACH, you will get funded the same day. Most factoring companies fund you the same day, but the amount hits your account the next day. If you're opted for wire, the payment hits your account immediately. Some factoring companies also have their own cards, so it works like a debit card. So it's similar to wire. If they fund the card, the amount hits your card and you can withdraw money, swipe it across shops, petrol pumps, etc. Use it like a debit card. The next thing that you need to ask the factoring or analyze is the cost involved in funding. Most factoring companies charge up to $5 for each ACH transaction. This can go as high as $35 for wire. And for charging the cards, it's also similar to around up to $5, right? So this is something that you need to ask them, the cost of the transaction. So let's say this is based on the transactions. So let me give you an example. So if you submit 3 loads together, right, it's considered as one transaction. And if you consider the 3 loads in during 3 different days, right, so you will be charged 3 different transaction charges, right? So that's what you need to understand. So it's very important to understand the cost involved and the speed. So if you ask me personally, I would love factoring companies who pay or fund the carriers the same day or maximum 24 hours. Anything more than that, it's time to shift your factoring company. The fourth point to look at is the customer support offered by the factoring company. There are good factoring companies who have dedicated account managers, and there are factoring companies who offer a custom contact center or a call center, right? But issues will happen. But as a carrier, the most important thing is how quickly you can access the customer support and how effective they are in answering your queries. From my personal opinion, a dedicated account manager is constantly working with you. He knows your business, he knows your operations. They are always talking to you. So for me, a dedicated account manager is much better than a contact center or a call center. See, at the end of the day, what I have seen is factoring companies who have dedicated account managers have long-lasting relationship with their carriers or customers. So go for a factoring company who have dedicated account managers, because that's what I've seen works well for carriers. The fifth and a very important point is the contract term or the contract duration. This is also a factoring trap. So what I mean by contract term or contract duration is the number of months that you have to work with a factoring company before you can leave them. It is very important for carriers to be aware of this. The problem is not the number of months. The problem is basically if you leave them early, even if it's because of their lack of service or you're getting a better offer, there is something called a termination fee. Many factoring companies charge a termination fee which can go up to $5,000 if you come out of the contract early. In general, there are factoring companies who offer month-to-month contract. There are factoring companies who offer quarterly, 6 months and yearly contract. But the problem is the termination fee. This is a trap. I know of many carriers who are struggling to get out of a bad relationship with a factoring company. So it is very important for you to read the contract thoroughly, understand it, ask the factoring company, what are the terms? How many months am I locked in? Is there a termination fee? What are the terms that in case I want to leave the contract early? Ask these questions. From my point of view, you should have an easy entry and an easy exit, and and zero termination fee. So look for a factoring company which gives you an easy entry and an easy exit. Now I'm going to speak about the sixth point and the second factoring trap. Many carriers wouldn't be even aware of this. The second factoring trap is nothing but the monthly minimum load volume and the minimum factoring fee per invoice. Let me explain you the monthly minimum load volume requirement. Many factoring companies say you need to factor with us at least X amount of dollars every month. Let's say $10,000. In case you do not factor that much of amount with them, you need to pay a minimum fee or a fine. Right now, this is a problem for carriers who have single trucks. What if you're out of business for half a month or a month and you're not able to meet that particular requirement? You end up paying hefty fines. The second aspect is the minimum factoring fee per invoice requirement. What it means is the factoring companies will tell you you need to pay a minimum fee of X amount of dollars per invoice. For example, let's say the minimum factoring fee is $25. So what it means is you're submitting an invoice of $500. Your factoring rate is 3.5%. So actually, if you compute your factoring amount that you need to pay is $17.5. But since 17.5 is lesser than the minimum factoring fee per invoice amount, that is $25, the factoring company will charge you $25. I hope that example was clear enough. So they will charge you $25. Now this is a problem for carriers who do local loads or short hauls, where the average invoice value is $250, $300 or $500, right? So this is a trap. So you need to be very clear with the factoring company and ask them, is there a minimum monthly load volume requirement, and do they have a minimum factoring fee per invoice to avoid a trap? So in my opinion, in my suggestions, those who are doing short hauls, it's better to avoid factoring companies who have this fee. The longer ones, anyways, the average invoice value will suffice. So make a wise decision and choose the right factoring company. Now let's look at the 7th and one of the most important point that carriers look while selecting a factoring company is the factoring percentage or the factoring rate charged, right? So factoring fees, most of the factoring companies have multiple programs. A single factoring company can offer you different programs. The fee is decided based on the volume that you do, the kind of hauls that you do, whether you do local loads or you do long hauls. And the third one is the type of factoring, whether you're opting for a recourse factoring or a non-recourse factoring, which I've already explained previously as point number 1, right? But if you ask me, there are two types of fee structure. One is a flat fee structure and second is a variable fee structure. So let me explain. A flat fee structure means is whatever rate that you have agreed with the factoring company, let's say it is 3%. The 3% will be deducted on each and every invoice that you submit, or the load or invoice that you do. A 3% will be deducted and the remaining will be given to you or funded to you. The variable fee structure is a little complicated. Why? Because here the amount of factoring fee is dependent on when the invoice gets paid. Let me give you an example. There could be a factoring company who has a structure where they say that if your invoice gets paid within the first 30 days, they charge 2%. Any invoice which gets paid between 31 to 45 days, they charge 3%. And any invoice which crosses 45 days, 4%. So there is no flat fee here. So depending on when the broker pays you, the factoring fee is computed, right? So it's a little complicated here. So I personally feel a flat fee structure is much more better than a variable fee structure. The next thing that you might come across is something called a reserve, right? Whether it's a flat fee or a variable fee, there would be factoring companies who hold a reserve. A reserve would mean there are factoring companies who pay you 100% advance, and there could be a factoring company which gives you 90% advance and holds a 10% reserve. Let's take an example. A 100% advance would mean, if let's say you're doing a $1,000 load, and your factoring percentage is 3%. So $30 is your factoring fee. So the remaining after deducting the $30, the remaining $970 will be funded to you. That is a 100% advance, right? A reserve would mean is a 10% reserve and 90% funding would mean is they will hold back $100, in which $30 is your factoring fee, and the remaining $900 will be given unto you. The remaining $70 will be paid back to you when the broker releases the fund, or when the factoring company gets the money from the broker, or after X number of days. So what works best for a carrier is to look for a factoring company which offers you a flat fee and less or zero reserve. Minimum of zero reserve are held back by the factoring company. So I do have a video coming up which will explain the nitty-gritties and the types of factoring fee with examples for you to understand and compute yourself before opting or signing up with a factoring company. So that's going to come soon. But as I said, in my personal opinion, look for a factoring company where you have an easy entry, easy exit, and the fee structure is very straightforward for you to understand. Now let's look at the eighth point, additional benefits. A lot of factoring companies offer a lot of value-added services to carriers apart from the factoring services. Some of them are, a couple of factoring companies have fuel cards whereby you can save 50 to 20 cents per gallon. They offer fuel advances up to 50% on the load, but there is a fee to it too. They also provide load board access and other paid services like MC registration, dispatching, insurance assistance, trailer leasing, etc. Now, in my opinion, these are good to have services, but not necessarily a must-have service. I know of carriers who got carried away with these services and they ended up in a soup, or they made a wrong mistake in selecting a factoring company. So what I would suggest you is look at all the other things that we discussed in this video and compare two factoring companies, and at the end, if you find two factoring programs as same, then look at the additional benefit and select the right program for you. The ninth and the most important point and the biggest factoring tribe are hidden charges that are levied by factoring companies. As the name itself says, these are hidden charges. Many of you won't even realize these charges are present before sign up. One of these charges are setup fee or sign up fee that they charge from carriers. That's totally absurd. Basically, they charge you a fee for you to get onboarded or you to get registered with them. The second fee is paperwork processing charges. There are factoring companies who charge $1 or $2 per invoice that you submit as paperwork processing charges. And this is apart from the factoring fee that you're already paying. Third one, credit check fees. These factoring companies, couple of factoring companies do credit checks on the carriers every month or every 2 months. And for that, they charge that amount that could vary between $5 to $15 into your account. Your account is debited for that. Fourth one, escrow. An escrow, they will hold up, many factoring companies hold up a reserve or an escrow amount of $500 to $1,000, but this is refundable and they do not take it at one go. You know, they will have a plan that they will take it with your first 5 loads or the 10 loads, but this is refundable too. This is okay. And there are some other fees, absurd fees. So for you, it is very important, trust me, very important that you ask the salesperson of the factoring company or the representative who's talking to you about all the other hidden charges that are present. Ask them to mention that in the proposal before you sign up the application and start the whole procedure. Don't fall into the trap. Understand what you're signing up for. With this, we come to the end of the video, and we have now seen the 9 steps of factors or questions that you need to look at or ask your factoring companies before you sign up with them. Right? So, there might be many of you who have some questions or who want to give some feedbacks or want to share your experience. Please leave us a comment. We might even come up with a video to help the trucking community. Our friends, trucking friends, it might be helpful for everyone. Now, as I said in the beginning, I have a free gift for you. Not one, basically 2 free gifts. The first one is an ebook. Yes, an ebook with a powerful checklist on how to select a factoring program. In my personal opinion, always compare multiple factoring programs and multiple factoring companies to select the right one which is suitable for you. This ebook will help you as it has a checklist of things that you need to ask, and it will make your job easier. All you need to do is download the ebook. The link is given in the description below. I hope it really helps you. The second gift, the second free gift is a free consultation from maxtruckers.com. Yes. First of all, we are not a factoring company. We work with carriers like you and help them to find the best options in factoring. Once you get in touch with us, our consultants will help you to get at least 4 proposals, and we will help you to understand the proposals, and if you like any one of them, we will help you with the sign up process. And this is absolutely free for my trucker friends. All you need to do is click on the consultation link below in the description. Now, if you really like the video and you want to stay updated, please like and subscribe us. Thank you, have a wonderful day and drive safe.